So if you're certifying this product and you're not the importer, then you still need to keep this 5 years from the date of entry. So I feel like customs may, or I should say USTR, kind of missed the boat on this one. If you're the certifier, you may not know, especially if you're the exporter, when something was imported and how long you need to keep that form. I would say, to be clear and clean, you do it 6 years from the date of your form. You're going to cover any of this 5 years from date of entry for retention. So this is kind of one of those strange ones where I don't feel like I said, they really got into understanding what this means and how many different options there are with the new form and the new data elements and who can certify these items. So because of that, I would recommend in this scenario, while the law says 5 years from date of entry, if you don't know the date of entry, you keep it 6 years from date of signing, you're going to cover this 5 years from date of entry requirement. So this, as the certifier, right, now we're really talking about what qualifies something for USMCA. You know, purchase, the cost. How did we get to our calculation, especially if we're using net cost, regional value content, things of that nature? You're going to have to really start to get into this. And then as we get into the automotive side, and you know, we'll talk about a touch of it here in a minute, but you get into the labor side of things, and there's a lot of record keeping involved with USMCA, more so I would say than NAFTA. And really what this is about, in my opinion, is at the end of the day, it's no longer going to be, now I think there's a legal fight here, but I think at the end of the day, what they're looking for is they really want you to understand, especially as an importer, who's your supplier. And while there's a lot that goes into that, we could have a whole long conversation just on that piece of it. I really think that's where their head's at, and that's really what they're trying to get their head wrapped around, and how do they gather enough of that information so if something does happen, how do they really start to get down into exactly where the potential bad actor was, or where did the problem exist. So you'll notice a lot of things here about the purchasing, the cost, the values, the shipments. So if you're certifying these goods, it's something that there's a lot of information that you need to have. And just as we used to call it, pin whipping a signature maybe isn't the best decision, right? There's a lot that goes into certifying these things to make sure that we are, you know, we have purchases, costs, if there's any tariff shifts going on, any regional value content, net cost calculations, right? So there's a lot that goes into this.
Adam, real quick, if you are the certifier, are you required to maintain records of the certificates that you've issued to customers?
Yes, I'll go back up here. So if you are the certifier, you need to include supporting documents related to the origin. So if you're relying on someone else's certificate, and that's why you're issuing yours, you need to make sure that you keep those. If there's any records to the purchase, cost, value, shipping of payments, right? And that's for the actual of the goods. If there's anything about indirect materials, if we're on the production side, how it was sold, what form was it sold. So really, as a certifier, you're certifying a lot. And so I think early on, we're going to see a lot of people certify a lot of things. And I think as we get farther down the road, I think we're going to see less and less people wanting to certify items because of some of these burdens that you're going to have from a compliance perspective sitting inside of here.